concentrate on these 5 abilities. Well, here's the first ability. Develop the ability to absorb. The ability to absorb. The ability to soak in, take in, be like a sponge. Sitting in class, sometimes it's easy to daydream. It's easy to be preoccupied. It's easy to be somewhere else. I read a good article once, though, in Reader Digest. The title was, "Wherever You Are, Be There." I thought that was excellent. Be there. Concentration, right? The sports stars will tell you, all you need is just a slight miss of concentration. They put one by your feet, and there goes the championship. Just a slight slip of concentration. Now, it's also important in learning extra skills to really pay attention, absorb, take in. I have a wealthy friend of mine. I swear it's more exciting to have him go to Acapulco and come back and tell you about it than it is to go yourself. I mean, it's unbelievable. Let me tell you why. When he's there, he doesn't miss anything. He soaks it all up. His mind is like a movie projector that takes it all in, the sights and the sounds and the smell and the color and the people and what's going on. He sees it all. Then he also has the gift of expression. When he comes back, he can tell you about it, word for word, detail, detail. When he talks, you can feel the water lapping on your feet. Right? You can smell the aroma of the food. You can see the sights and the sounds and the color and the people. I mean, he's got these gifts, the gift to take it in and then the gift to share it. And those are extremely excellent skills to work on. And that first one is absorb. Let me give you a good clue. Most people are trying to get through the day. I've got a better objective for you. Learn to get from the day. Not just get through it, get from it. Soak it up. Each day is a piece of the mosaic of your life. Don't waste any. Treat them with care. See how much you can get from a day. How much advice, how much information, how much color, how much sight and sound to add to your worth and your wealth and your equity of mind. Here's the next skill. Develop the skill to respond. The ability to be affected by what you see and hear and sense. Success is not just knowledge. Success is response to knowledge. Success is not just experience. Success is emotion created from experience. It's the emotional part that plays such a big, major part in our life and our future and our success. Responding to life means let sad things make you sad. Let happy things make you happy. Let puzzling things puzzle you. Right? Let things that are difficult create difficulty for you. Respond. I'm asking you to get it. And I'm asking you to let it affect you. Let it do things to you. It builds your emotional bank. It builds your emotional bank. Number 3 is reflect. Learn to reflect. Reflecting is an extra way of getting more value from what you know and what you've been through. Reflecting is going back over. Let me give you some good times to reflect. 1, at the end of the day. Take just a few minutes at the end of the day and go back over the day. Find a place, right? If you can, get alone. Just go back and think through the day. Where have you been and what did you see and what did you hear and what did you feel? If you'll just relive it, go back through it. I'm telling you, it will add multiplied value to you. The day you've just been through will be more valuable for your future if you just go back through it. Take a few hours at the end of the week. Hours at the end of the week, right? Minutes at the end of the day, hours at the end of the week, half a day at the end of the month, a weekend at the end of the year. Those are called times to reflect. Now, why go back over? Why run the tapes again? Let me tell you why. To make the past more valuable. It's like color enhancers. The cameras take pictures of Jupiter, right, on its flyby. But let me tell you what they do with those pictures. right? The computer has learned to enhance them with color, so they become vivid and unique, and our eyes get big, and we take a look and we say, wow, with the enhancers. And that's what'll happen to your life. If you'll take the time to review what's going on, review the decisions you're making, review the people you're with, review the action you're taking, the decisions you're making, review all that stuff, go back through the feelings, go back through what's happening. I'm telling you, the color enhancers of your own mind will make your own life more valuable. Now, why try to make your life valuable? Simple answer: to invest it in the future. We call that bright. We call that skillful. To make more out of your past, to have more value to invest in the future. That's a different attitude than just trying to get through one more day, trying to get through one more week. Is to gather up your past and invest it in the future. When my father was about to turn 76, I said, "Dear father of mine, can you imagine how exciting it's going to be to take the last 75 years of your life and invest them in your 76? That's an extraordinary thing to learn, how to take more of you and invest it in the next conversation, invest it in the next decision, invest it in the next activity." Now here's number 4, fourth ability. Develop the ability to act, the ability to take action on your feelings and your knowledge. Action, disciplined action, is what gives birth to ideas, enterprise, value. Without activity, ideas and dreams are stillborn. They have no life. Disciplined activity is the most demanding of arts to take you where you want to go. Daily, weekly disciplines are those small changes of intelligent activity that take you now in a better direction. We use a good question that says, 10 years from now, you will surely arrive. The question is, where? Right? Good question. Now, here's the comment. Now's the time to fix it. Now's the time to fix the next 10 years. Fix a better course. Now, to unsophisticated people, what they do during the day doesn't seem to matter. But to sophisticated people, it makes all the difference in the world. The books you read, the actions you take, the disciplines you engage in on a daily basis, those are the activities that are taking you somewhere. And all of us need to take a look at where our daily activities are taking us. Okay. Disciplined activity, activity of learning, activity of mind, health disciplines, wealth disciplines, culture disciplines. Right? All values come from disciplines. Ideas put into disciplined activity create value. Now here's number 5. The 5th ability in our personal development quest, developing skills that create success in the marketplace. Number 5 is develop the ability to share. Sharing is a unique human capacity. Sharing is a phenomenon, especially in the human experience. It seems when we share, we are the bigger and the better for it. It looks like if you shared something and gave it away, you'd be less, but it's a paradox. This is a paradox. What you share creates for you more. That's why we call it a paradox. You're not diminished by sharing, you're increased. If you have a child and you love it dearly, if the second child comes along, must you now cut your love in half? And the answer is no. From some strange, mysterious source comes an increased capacity. From sharing with the first, capacity and awareness and uniqueness is increased. So that's what I would ask you to do. Become gifted in sharing. There's many ways to share. One is by language. The gift of language. One of the most important studies for you is the study of communication, how to affect other people with words. I've got some good steps to communication. One is have something good to say. Saying something it has to come from something. You can't speak what you don't know. Talking is like writing a check. And you want to make sure you've got a verbal check that'll cash when you get ready to talk. And here's the true power of communication, when what you say is only the tip of the iceberg of all you know. We call that power. I'm sure we've all been around some people who very quickly told us more than they knew. But this is called do your homework. Have something good to share. Have something good to say. Communication is part of sharing. Then learn to say it well. Part of the gift of language is saying it uniquely. John Kennedy said of Churchill during World War II, Winston Churchill had the unique ability to take the English language and send it into battle. And the words he composed and the speeches he gave and the language and the style gave such hope and uniqueness and structure to the free world that soon the enemy was defeated. But part of it was the structure of the language, the skill, the gift of saying things well is one of those incredible gifts. Saying it well. Then learning to read your audience. When you talk, you just got to be interested enough to look and see how you're doing. I had to learn that. At first, I was so absorbed in what I was saying, I'm sure the audience could have left and I would have never known it. But I finally learned to look up and see what's going on here, over here, in the back. My largest audience has been 10,500 people. And that is a real stretch, right? What's going on? 3 balconies. I had people behind me. I wasn't the only speaker that day. Art Linkletter, Paul Harvey, Dr. Norman Vincent. But that was an experience for me, learning to read, to see, to study the reflection of whoever you're communicating with. That's an art, that's a skill. And the last one is intensity. Words with strong feeling change the meaning. Words can have power if they're loaded with emotion and belief and courage, love, understanding, awareness, sympathy, concern, being touched by somebody. If you put more of that into what you say, it'll have a more incredible effect. Those kind of skills to share, to articulate, to give people a reading on what's going on in our heart, our mind, our soul, our spirit. Learn to share your emotions. And the last one is learn to share your knowledge. You can't believe how well you can help somebody just by recommending a book, recommend a poem, share a word, a phrase. You say, hey, I just read this. I think you'll get a lot out of it. Somebody reads it and comes back and say, hey, that had an impact on my life. I'm glad you shared that with me. That started me thinking. That started me looking, started me reaching, started me searching. And you can start getting compliments. I'm now lecturing to about 7,000 people a month, 6,000, 7,000. And I get now lots of letters and phone calls, people saying, what you said made a difference for me. And that's an incredible feeling. But you don't have to lecture to 7,000 to get that same feedback. All you have to do is recommend a book, share an idea. Somebody comes back and says, that book got me started. The things you told me that breakfast, that morning, wow, I've been thinking about that. I'm making some changes. So you can have this incredible pleasure that comes from sharing ideas. Now, another unique thing about sharing is what you pour out creates capacity for more. So if you pour out what you know, if you pour out what you feel, if you let go in a sharing way, the good things that have come your way, it's part of the skill in the marketplace of developing success, wealth, and value. And I would wish that for you. In fact, all of the things we've talked about today, I would wish for you the benefit that comes from it all. But I know that it takes the discipline first. One last phrase. Promise is on the other side of price. For the promise, you must always pay the price. I'm sure we've all watched the television show fame, where the teacher says, here's where you start to pay. If you want the glory of the stage, and not just the glory of the stage, but a glory of a unique family, if you want the glory and the recognition of a unique enterprise, if you want the glory of a job well done, you got to pay up front. And this is part of the pay. But once you get a taste of value, you don't mind paying the discipline. So I want to thank you today for letting me come by and have a chance to visit with you. And I wish for you all these good things that come from paying the price. The next time we get together, I'm sure we'll be able to trade some stories about the value we've gotten from sharing with each other today. Thank you for inviting me. See you next time.